have you, not just you personally, but like 409 Sports and Channel 12 in general, how have y'all been keeping in touch and things like that and trying to still produce a news broadcast?
Uh, a couple of different ways. We have a Slack channel that we've always had that we, pass on information through Slack that way. That's our standard communication even before all this. But just like the rest of the country, we're Zoom meetings. We have multiple Zoom meetings throughout the day just to see each other face to face. It's honestly, we kind of miss each other. People don't get it. Like they're thinking, oh yeah, you're probably doing social distancing, but you're probably really seeing each other, when you're not on camera. We really haven't. I mean, the only person I've seen consistently is Mike because he lives 3 blocks away and we're sharing equipment. So we're trading camera, back and forth. That's the only person from work that I have seen since March 18th. It's bizarre, and we really do try to have fun on the little Zoom meetings. We've had our Spirit Week. We've had things like that, dress-up days, anything to get us by, but it's not easy. And, when you're in communication, you're a social person. I mean, that's just the way it is. If you're in television, you're a social person that likes to get out there and meet people and interact even with your coworkers. So not to have that part, I mean, it stinks. We've missed that part.
And how did you feel once you realized that was it? Sports were being canceled, sports were being delayed. I mean,
yeah, it was tough. We really got that first feeling of it when we were at the Southland tournament there in Katy. And as soon as I rolled in, we're starting to hear about the delays happening and other tournaments are going to be postponed. We knew it was only a matter of time before the Southland would make their decision, and they did the next day. And you knew this wasn't going to be a short-term issue. This is going to take months to get back in order because there's so many different logistics that go with it. When you have teams traveling to meet each other, you're bringing exposure from one region to another. So it could be a while before it's back to normal. It really could, logistically, especially at the national level. But it hurt. I mean, it hurts to not have a chance to cover March Madness. Lamar ended their year with a win. And, they looked really good that night. And we were hoping that they could go on a little bit of a Cinderella run and we'd be following their NCAA tournament. So when that went away, it hurt. And then followed that up by no opening day with the Astros. It's first Astros opening day I've missed in, I don't know, probably about 15 years. So definitely a different feeling. We can't wait for sports to be back.
Do you think the next game you actually attend, you'll kind of sit there and enjoy the moment a little bit more because you haven't had it for so long?
For sure. I mean, we all get guilty of when we're covering game after game to say like, okay, I'm just going to get a few buckets and then I'm going to head back to the station because, it just gives you more time to get things ready. Or this baseball game, hey, I got to run. I've got one run. That's plenty of highlights. The show on TV, we're fine. But I'm sure I'm going to stay at that next game a little longer than I'm covering, just to be able to sit around, take it all in, those sights, those sounds. And honestly, I think once sports comes back, it's not going to be the same at first. I mean, I don't see sports coming back with fans in the stands. I mean, it's going to take a while till we get to that point. So it's going to be a different atmosphere, but even just to see any kind of competition going on, I'll be so thrilled to see that. And I'll definitely want to take it in a little bit longer.
Now, as someone who is trying to get into the sports industry field right now, I mean, what advice would you have for graduating seniors who are looking for a job in a world right now currently where there are no sports?
Well, one of the big things is doing what you're doing right now. Learn the technology because it's evolving. We don't know how long things are going to be like this. FaceTime and Zoom are your best friends. If you're not allowed to do interviews, you're going to have to find a way to set them up and still build that personal relationship. The old days, before all this technology, you'd get on the phone and record a phone interview. Well, unless you absolutely have to do that, you need to learn the technology of seeing face-to-face because people like to see images and things like that. The approach, besides showing that you can and do these type of interviews, is pretty much the same. Send stuff everywhere. You're never too big for a market. I've told you that. Messed with you a few times about that. You're never too big for a market. Get your face out there. Get connections built. And I can tell you right now, even though you would think during this time there's so many other things going on, people are still getting hired. They're still moving on to different markets, and the cycle will never end in that direction. So stay positive, especially if you're just coming out of school. You're going to find that job, and like I said, just learn all the technology you can. Because if you can prove that you can work through these circumstances, the normal circumstances of a Friday night covering football is going to be a breeze. Trust me.